Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Portia O, your host of Life Be Lifin podcast, and I am back with the brand new season 2. Pew, pew, pew,
Season
pew. I am
two.
so excited to be here, okay? And as y'all can see, I have a wonderful guest tonight. Hey, Shane.
How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Blessed and highly favored. Glad to be
I
here.
know, I know that's right. I know that's right. This has been a long time coming, right?
Yes, it has. It has been a while. We've been
Right?
talking about it.
We have, and we're finally here. Thank God. Real quick, before we even jump into this episode where we're talking about selfless or selfish. But before we get into it, let me do my intro, okay? Hey, y'all. On this podcast, we talk about how life be over here, life in us via all types of relationships, situations, and everyday things we are experiencing, all while in real time healing and learning how to be a better human being. Okay. So that's what we all about over here. And if that's what you're about, you in the right place at the right time. Okay. Share it with your people. We love new people around here. Okay.
Okay.
Shane. So a quick backstory with Shane. We met on TikTok. Was it last year or the
Correct.
beginning of this year? I feel like it was
La-
last year.
It was last year.
Yeah, yeah. I met
Yeah.
him on one of another girl live I met on TikTok. We had did a few lives with each other or whatever. And I thought he was very well spoken, a very nice young man,
Thank
and he had some really good things to talk about and say. And I feel like we connected, via there. Been supportive of each other since. So yeah, this is TT fam.
We were join what were we doing in the live? We just had some great dialogue going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's been great. It's been great. So I've been enjoying the whole getting to know people that you probably would have never met outside of social media, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some
But
people that think like you have the same some similar ideas and
yeah,
everything. So
yeah.
it's worth it.
So today we are going to talk about selfless or selfish. Real quickly, I wanted to do this segment called Life Be Life in Us All, as y'all already know. Hey, y'all, the village. This is where I request you all, the listeners, friends, family, to submit news, topics, and other requests for me to talk about on here on the podcast. Okay. So anytime that you want to submit anything, just email me at this email below at lifebelife@anchordnllc.com, or you could DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm always reading them and willing to hear out from you guys. Okay. Next segment. As you already know, I got some questions, y'all. Y'all know I stay with the questions because I am very inquisitive. First question, Shane, if you want to
Yes,
fire
sir.
off and answer these as you can as I read them, you're more than welcome to. Okay.
Okay.
First question: what part of life does this selfish/selfless affect you the most? You think?
Ooh. I think it'd be mostly in relationships term. That's when it comes. Relationship terms.
Yeah, like your romantic relationships.
Yeah, I think that's where it will affect the most at
Mm-hmm.
and more quickly. But when money's involved, that's when it really mostly financials involved.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest part about it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Where it affects the most part is, well, actually, as a mom, it may it is in a romantic relationship, I feel, but also for me, I deal with a lot of mom guilt. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being selfish if I choose to do something for myself instead of selfless when it comes to doing for my kids.
And that's
You know what
why
I'm
I said
saying?
that's why I just stated relationship because it's not only your relationship with a partner, it's with family, friends,
Yeah.
and all. So that's
Yeah.
why I said relationship term because say you're dealing with somebody older generation that may have made you feel some kind of way at one point in time.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
you get that selfishness against them or whatnot, or you seen them up here, they never lifted you up there. So
Right.
you
Right.
rebellious to them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. So it can affect in multiple forms of relationships.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Next question. Why do you feel guilty when you do for yourself? Or do you feel guilty when you do for yourself?
Our generation, because of how we were raised by grandparents and everything, who looked out
Mhm.
for a lot more people, so we want
Mhm.
to keep that standard up for them on what
Mhm.
they put in us, so
Mhm.
that guilt trip or pick up on the back end of it. So you have that guilty segment in your mind where
Mhm.
I wasn't taught like this. Shoot,
Mhm.
my grandparent looking down on me and crying the tears and whatnot. So that's
Yeah.
why that guilt trip will hit you the hardest. But nowadays, some of them is I got to get mine before you get yours. I got to be a step ahead of you, and I can't bring you up. I can't teach you everything that I know to get here because I don't want you up here with me. I want to
Ooh,
be able to look down on you, and that's how some of them are nowadays.
Jesus. That's definitely that selfish behavior. And I feel like we run more into people that are more selfish than not, which is a whole thing to say about society, right? Which is why we have so many crises and people be like, oh, that just happened over there. That don't concern me because it didn't
Yeah,
happen directly to them. But
yeah,
that's selfish. That's a selfish mindset, right?
yeah. And
Um,
they don't look at the boomerang effect of it because it happened over there. They think it won't happen over here, but
mhm.
you, the Earth is round, so it gonna spin her back
It's
around.
gonna spin back some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I feel like of the more recent years, if nothing else has shown us that nobody is exempt from it, it was the whole COVID crisis, right?
Yeah,
Like I think everybody got a wake up call, like, oh, I don't care if I'm a one percenter or I'm a poor, like it didn't matter. It had no respect of person. It just kind of wiped out people in the
yeah.
population. So
You saw some of the strongest mind crack down to I got to protect myself. I got to do
yep,
this. I got to do that. I can't let
yep,
it happen in my household around
yep.
me. And some
Yep.
of the strongest mind that never believed in anything got there,
Yep.
believed in it, and they stuck with it. And some of them to this day, they still protect themselves because they hear it rising up again. So
Yeah. 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 Again, for me, why do I feel guilty when I do for myself? Because I take on a lot.
yeah,
I take on a lot. I take on I feel like I have a lot of responsibility as far as it goes with my family, like breaking generational curses. I've always felt a great deal of responsibility or the burden thereof carrying that forward to make it better for the next or even make it better for now. Like my whole plight is like I just want us all to be at peace and happy and live the best life that we can. So when I take time to myself and I feel like I'm not doing for others, I feel very, very guilty and like, oh girl, you still trying to get everything together. Who was you to take a break? You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's just a really heavy burden. I feel like I'm carrying, even though I know God got me through it. But that's how I feel. That's how my flesh feels.
yeah. I
So
understand that one.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it is well. It is well. Last question. How often do you consider this concept selfless versus or selfish? I know when I brought it to you, you was like, ooh, I like that. Like what made you say that? Like
Because I see a lot of people who say they're selflessness, but their actions say they're selfish because they only time you actually see them help people is to get ahead themselves. So they'll help the next
wow.
person help them get ahead. But
Wow.
it, I always had this motto: I can help you, help me, help you rise up, so we can grow together. So as
Wait, 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 wait,
we
wait. Slow that down. You said I can help you, help me, help you rise up.
yeah,
Wow.
you know
That's
it. Because if we putting it in, I can help you get to this point to where you can get to it, and now
mhm.
you go up a step. Now you reaching back, you bringing me up to it, and I'm helping you
Mhm.
again because as we rise up, we both gaining knowledge, and we're both going above platform because maybe you got the sources I don't have, maybe you have the knowledge that I don't have, maybe you have the time that I don't have. So we
Yes.
basically helping each other in ways that we can to rise up.
That is, did you come up with that your own?
Like my time in the military, the push and pull method. I push, you pull, I push, you pull, and it
Mhm.
basically until we get to that point to where we need to be at.
Mhm.
Maybe we don't get to that point, and we can bring a third party in to help us get to that part.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
maybe we don't have all the stuff that we need to get there, and maybe we need to add somebody. Having the willpower to add or ask for help is
Yes.
is one thing in life that's missing. You ask somebody
Mhm.
for help, they can only tell you no or H no. So, and then if this person not willing to help you, somebody else listening in gonna be willing to help you or teach you what you
Yeah.
need to know.
I do think of this concept often when again back to the societal conditions. I just find it very sad that we as a people are so, and I think it's the capitalism in America really um that we make us as a people think that we just got to get it for ourselves. We are very selfish in that way, and it's not about like helping the overall theme of everybody in the world. Or even when it comes down to voting, people vote for their personal interests. They don't vote
Yeah,
for the greater good of everybody, and that's
yeah,
typically how I try to look at things. Even if I don't agree totally with everything, it's like, is this for the greater good? Then that's the way I'm gonna go with it or whatever. Because I don't want to
yeah,
ever be in a situation that I don't think about the masses. Like we cannot just be selfish out here thinking about what's beneficial to me in this moment.
yeah,
At some point in my life, I'm gonna be in a whole nother tax bracket. It's gonna be a whole nother ball game. And then I don't want to be like, well, because I'm here now, I don't have to think about where I used to be or people that are where I used to be, right? Like,
yeah,
no, I want to do what's best for everybody. I want us all to advance. And again, I know that's like, I know I sound like a Miss America pageant contestant. So I said, I just want world peace. No, but for real, like it takes little by little for us to make small decisions for an overall greater outcome, right?
yeah,
And if we would just have more of a graceful, caring, loving type of approach towards life and our decision makings, then it would be a better place. But we so selfish. And instead of just being selfless, like I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But that's just the heart that I have. Like I want what's best for everybody. That's just me.
yeah.
So
And same here. If I'm able to help you in any way I can,
mhm.
I'll try my best to help you, whether it's giving you knowledge or whatever I can.
Right.
So, a lot of people they be lacking that little bit of knowledge or that push. Like there's a lot of friends that got ideas right now, and I'm pushing them. Hey, boom. I'm looking up stuff. I'm shooting
Mhm.
information over to them
Mhm.
to help them out, which I can take their idea and run with it like most people do. No, I'm gonna help you get
Right.
there. You know,
Right.
this is your dream. This is what you want to do. I get the knowledge. I can get you there. And then if
Mhm.
you do go start this business and you so happening to, come at a stalemate, you know, I'm learning from you as you grow. You
Yes.
know, if you get to that stalemate, now I'm coming back. I'm looking at different information, and I'm bringing it
Mhm.
right back to you.
Mhm.
Hey, have you looked at this area? Have you looked at that? And like I tell them all the time, if you come up to a brick wall, hey, you can either go left or right. Don't turn back around. Go left or right. And
Right.
then when every time you get to a brick wall, don't think to step back. Just left or right.
Yeah.
You can put it on pause for a minute. Go
Mhm.
gather your information, your knowledge. Talk to somebody that that been there, or you can social media nowadays. You can reach out to somebody that always been there,
Yep.
and gather that information. Look at
Mhm.
TikTok nowadays. TikTok is the new Wikipedia. You
Right.
could just go
Hello.
type something in, boom.
Type it in.
They give you demonstration of everything.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, even when it come to YouTube, YouTube got a lot of information on it. You
Yep.
come to it, you, folks learning how to drop motors in their cars from
Yep.
YouTube. They
Yep.
learn all kinds of things, So
Everything you need is right at your fingertips now.
yeah,
Seriously.
and that's what I like about the social media network too, because it's selflessness. Because
Yeah.
people are willing to give you the information. There's some stuff
Mhm.
out there you never thought about. Once you see it, you like, I want to do that work. Let me try it. And they're
Mhm.
not gatekeeping the information from you. They're
Yep.
giving you, you know, and what human nature, what we do. all right, let me see, can I make this step easy, make it quicker for me, or let me put it in my own terminology,
Yep.
So that's what I like about social media nowadays. It's selflessness, no gatekeeping, none of that.
Yeah, yeah. Once you find the right corners of it, right? Because some
Yeah.
people be out there charging $3,000 to get my rundown of the same information you get for free if you just do a little research. You know what I'm saying?
That made me think about the workout exercise and the stuff like that. Somebody want
Mm-hmm.
to charge somebody $500 for a leg workout, just you
Mm-hmm.
know, get them idea for a leg workout, and
Mm-hmm.
you scroll over to somebody else TikTok page, and they got the whole exercise step by step, what you need to do, the form you need to be in, every free information.
Free. Yep.
And I'm like, I understand you want to make a profit off of it, but you want to charge 10 times as much as, to do it and stuff like that.
Yep.
Sometimes if you just give them free information, people will always bless you at the end of the day. If you don't
Yes.
get that blessing from them, someone else gonna give the blessing to you.
Come on. Sometimes capitalist mindset. Like I gotta get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Like
Yeah.
if you just do it in a more authentic way, you will gain more people and they will bless you. It will open up a whole nother thing for you. But you're trying to get over on people, that's only gonna last so long. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna hit a wall.
Yep. And
And
then you gotta latch yourself on to somebody else to grab from.
yep,
So you destroying this person's life, that person's life, and then when you don't have nobody else to detach on, you don't have nobody altogether because these people got their back to you and don't
yep,
want to help you anymore because
yep.
you done took their trust.
Woo, that part. Took they trust. Yeah, no, it's a no for me, dog. I'm good.
Man, it's a regular thing that go on. Like I see a lot of people, even if it's work life or outside,
Hmm.
people represent this, and represent that, and on the back end, I'm saying exactly what they is and what they're worth. They want stuff. They how do I put it? They over selfishness. It's my way or no way. You gonna do it
Yes.
my way, or you ain't gonna do it no way at all. I'm gonna
Hmm.
find some type of way to remove. Like in the work life, you got that individual who shouldn't be a boss. He makes himself seem like a leader, but
Oh my
once they become a
gosh.
leader,
Yes.
it do it my way or don't do it at all. Or you got to get out of here. I'm gonna run you off. Those type of people.
Yeah.
They got that going on. Then you got some of the security guard that couldn't make the police officer squad, and what they
Yep.
doing? They want to act like they're police, and
Yep.
it different scenarios. I can name them out, and
Yeah.
that's when it comes to that selfishness because I gotta do it. Like get your selfishness out the way. Be about the people. If they doing wrong, pull them out the way. Show them what they're doing wrong.
Yes.
Explain to them what they're doing wrong,
Hmm.
and hopefully they'll learn from what you taught them to go the right way. Yes, it's gonna
Yes.
be disciplinary action, but you discipline somebody without telling them exactly what they done wrong. You got to break it down.
Yes. It's the pride of it all. It's the stubbornness of it all. It's the power tripping of it all. Like,
That's the word I was
please.
looking for.
Yeah, like it's too much. It's too much. But like you said, people like that have unresolved issues within themselves, they come
Yeah,
and get in positions like that and mistreat other people. And then they want to punish you or penalize you for not doing exactly how they wanted it or whatever. And you didn't even do a
yeah,
good job at being a leader and explaining it or giving what you needed to give for them to get the job done properly anyhow. And even if they did make a mistake, like you said, come back and teach. But some people don't have that ability because they so stuck up in their pride and
yeah,
all of that. They can't. It's so one dimensional for them. It's tunnel vision for them about
yeah,
what they want and what they need in this moment. It's the selfishness of it all. It's not about the actual task getting done. It's about them,
yeah.
and that's no way to be in, especially in a leadership position. Like I lose all respect for you. I don't have time. I'd rather
And,
quit.
and I look at a lot of people who's very selfish is want to be in control. They
Woo.
always want to be in control. It's like once they get that chance to have control of something, they don't know how to detach themselves from it. They don't know how to. to keep being their self and have control at the same time. It's
Jesus.
like the relationship that you have with people can also elevate you. Now, if you
Yeah.
losing people, you know what they always said, we're better in numbers.
Yes.
Our strength is in numbers. So if
Yes.
you losing this person, now they're mad at you and they got the same mindset as you, they gonna pull some of your people away because they saw this person saw them got pushed away. Now they're V2ing over here.
Yep.
Now they're running with this person. And then
Yep.
you got some individual that selflessness that know how to play, they know how to play the head honcho. They know how to play any role out there. And
Yes.
you looking at them, oh, they just think they better. No, they don't think they better. They're willing
They,
to open up their
they're
mind and
willing.
learn different things and help
Yes.
every people. It
Yes.
really the control ain't the person that got control. The control is the person that knows what to do in order to speak the language of the others.
That part. Fall in line. Get in where you
Yeah,
fit in. Utilize your skills where it's necessary. You don't have to, and that is strength in numbers, like you said, but there's also something to say about somebody that can adapt to different environments and situations and
yeah,
scenarios and don't have to be overly boastful or loud about, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I need to be seen, I need to be in control, I need to be the head, or nothing. It's like all
yeah.
or nothing with those type of people. But a selfless person will more so bend and be of service where it's necessary. So there's that.
They know when to step forward and when not to step forward.
Exactly. They know how to play the background, but they still are being powerful and being heard. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
ain't, I ain't got to fight with you, boo boo. I don't want your spot. I'm good. Cause my
Yeah.
light gonna shine regardless. Okay.
And it's funny how some people look at those people that like that as being weak
Ooh,
because they don't bite back, they don't fight back, and none of that. It's like
yes.
they're fighting back. You just don't see how they fight back. They continue to go about their day doing what they're doing while
Hmm.
this person is still see he's living rent free in this person's head because he never said anything back to that person. So
Yep.
now they're wondering what his next step is. Now they
Hmm.
can't control what they're doing. They
Nope.
lost all control of themselves by thinking
Yep.
about what this person, how he gonna retaliate, how she
Yep.
gonna retaliate, what they gonna do next. What
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
they ain't said nothing, they ain't bite back, they just continue to go on about their day like ain't nothing happened. Why? Because they're used to it.
Yep.
They know when to step back. They
Yep.
let their actions speak louder than their words.
That part. And that's where their strength lies while you're
Mhm.
over here fighting to be heard, seen, and understood and accepted. They don't need to do all of that because they know it's, I really think it speaks towards the heart and the motive of it all, right? When you are a selfless person, it's easy to navigate things. I feel when you're selfish, it becomes much more difficult because you're so busy trying to misconstrue and form and mold the situations and scenarios into what you want it to be for your own self gain. That's exhausting.
Yeah,
You're exhausting a lot of energy doing that. Like,
yeah,
but if you're selfless and more so, this I know what my underlying foundational motive is, and this is what it is, and I did my part, and I go step back, and that's it. Like it ain't nothing more to it. You know who you are. You're secure in who you are. And so that's just what it is. That's crazy.
and you just said something I think about when I hear about people being selfish all the time. They don't exactly know who they are. They're trying to imitate someone else, whether it's somebody from their past or someone that's in their present. They're
A
trying to
learned
imitate that
behavior.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's entertaining to them? They
Yep.
see this person doing this and they think it's entertaining. So let me try it. So they
Or they
mimic
looked up.
everything that person
Yes.
do,
They looked up to
and
somebody that
they
was
don't get
out
the
here
same
being a
results.
bully and they want to do the same thing. Like, oh, this is how I get things done. I want to be like that person because they're respected. No, it's a difference between respect and fear and intimidation. It's a difference between all of that. So
Yeah,
you have to be careful with that type of stuff and know who you are, like you said. That's the main
yeah.
thing. Okay, let's go into this next segment. Did you know? If you didn't, that's okay because your girl is here to tell you something I know of or have recently learned. According to happyminds.com, a psychology based site website, they noted that being selfish is putting your own needs ahead of others. often to their detriment. Okay. Also, being selfless is putting others' needs ahead of your own, often to your own detriment. Ooh. So, practicing self care is recognizing and responding to your needs whilst considering the impact on others. What do you think about that, Shane?
I like the way it's defined.
I know,
Because
right?
yeah, you and that goes back to what I was saying, with the selflessness, you putting other people ahead of you. But
Mm-hmm.
some selfish people make you think that they're putting you ahead of them, and that's only for them to get forward.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
if they got an idea and they don't know how to maintain it, they push the idea onto you to make you think that it's your idea, but they're
Mm-hmm.
they're they're rising off of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
For me, the most I love how they define this as well. Selfish people do it often to their own detriment, and they don't understand it is towards their detriment because they think they're accomplishing something, getting you to do what they want you to do, or whatever, whatever, whatever.
mhm,
But the selfless part, and this is where it comes in for me. Often, you put others' needs ahead of your own, often to your own detriment, and I guess being selfless it can be a gift and it also can be a curse if you don't know how to properly balance it, right?
yeah.
You have to set your own boundaries. When you are a selfless person, you don't want people to essentially use you up, and then become to your own detriment because you're so selfless. I get the clothes off my back. I'll do anything for anybody because that's just the type of person I am. That's the type of heart I have. But not when it's to your own detriment. So it's a fine line you gotta not cross in order to, hell, not be out here on the
but
street or something. I don't know.
but sometimes with being selflessness, we become selfish at times because we didn't
Mm,
help this person, and once they get to that point, we looking for them to reach down and bring us back, but they never do. So we end up having that
whew,
selfish mind frame to where it's
mm,
like I can't deal with you. I done helped you and helped you and helped you, and
mhm,
not one
mhm,
time have you reached back. Especially when you done watch this person rise and fall multiple times. Every time they fall, they
mhm.
come back to you. But long
Yep.
as they're
Ooh.
up here, they don't come. They don't communicate with you at all. So that's when it makes a selflessness person become selfish, and it's only really towards that one individual if you know how to control your anger and your mindset.
Right. You compartmentalize it.
Yep.
But is that being selfish at that point? So this gonna take us into the next segment because I really want you to give me a story based on this because I don't even that just piqued the story in my mind. It took me to a relationship that I had with a familial person. I'm gonna save it for the story time. The next segment is this is just my life experience. This is where I give you some tea by the way of an interesting story about my life, my house, relationships, money, anything or whatever. Shane, I'll let you tell your story first. I had a whole nother story written down here in my notes that I was gonna do, but you just made me think about this other situation. And I'm like, am I being selfish? I don't think I'm being selfish.
Yeah, I was just saying it's being selfish toward one individual.
Right. So
And not
let
to
me give you
everybody else.
right, right, right. But it's also okay, so let me give you my story. This is just my life experience. Okay. Don't y'all come in here trying to come for me. So this person that has pretty much been in my life all of my life. So this person I had a relationship with, I decided to break it off with them because I realized as of the recent years that they may have still wanted me around, but it was like on their own terms, right? But when they are down and they really need prayer or need somebody's shoulder to cry on or to work out some stuff, I was the person they would call. And even if when I was going through it, they all up in my bit, like, hey, what's going on? I need to see, like, you know what I'm saying? When I'm in my down, but when I'm up, they not so much around trying to, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't want to deal with people like that in my circle that feel like that I have to need them or they want to use me when it's convenient for them in order to have a relationship with me. That's not a relationship to me. I For me and my relationships, I want to we should have our ups and downs together and we go through it all together, right? It shouldn't be just when you need to use me or you feel like, oh, I'm above you, so I want to use this space to kind of like misuse you. Because that's very selfish behavior. But when I'm good, I don't need you over here. You stay over there and I deal with you when I want to. Like, nah. So the light bulb finally came on for me. It was like, this person is really not, they really don't care for you like that. Because if they did, they would be here in the mud with you and they not. So I decided to cut it off. I didn't have no conversation. I didn't say anything. I just let it naturally drift apart. When you said that, it made me think like, am I being selfish towards this person? Or because I am so selfless, am I choosing to utilize my wisdom in this area and say, hey, I don't want it to be to my detriment, because that's essentially where it was going. I was constantly giving, pouring into this person, and they're not reciprocating that to me. So that's to my detriment. It's not, and I don't think I'm being selfish. I just think I'm like choosing to put you over there, and I don't have to engage in relationship with you. It's no hard feelings. I wish you well, but I just can't do it with you anymore. And anybody that would portray those type of traits that you did, I now know, I recognize that that's a red flag for me now. I recognize, oh yeah, I can't be in relationship with that type of person because they're selfish, and I refuse to be in a relationship with people like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You caught on to them needing you when they're down, basically. So
Yeah.
like you're that moment that that they reach out to.
Yep.
So everybody got that moment when they're down and stuff like that. They feel like, okay, this person is always down. Let me reach down to them
Ooh.
because I'm down. Let me try and uplift myself. You know
Wow. Because this
that
person is always down. Damn. You
that's
have
how.
to throw that in my face like that. No.
It's just how some people think, though. I'm not saying that they think like that,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
be that
It could
factor of,
be.
oh, they down. Let me reach back. Or they didn't exhausted all their opportunities with everybody else that's that they can now. They know you always got their back. Let them fall back down. You know,
Yeah.
like they say, what they say, like a son when it comes to their mother, the mother always have their back, even when they're in the
Mm-hmm.
wrong and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
one of those moments, they feel
Mm.
like you're that motherless soul that gonna always, treat them the way that, they need to be treated or when they
In
need to
that
be treated.
moment. Do you think I'm being selfish by choosing not to engage with them any longer in the relationship?
See, in that situation, I can say you protecting your peace.
Whew,
You you
that
you
part.
protect you're protecting your mentals, you're protecting your peace because you already know what kind of person that they are. You can give them chance after chance after chance.
Mhm.
So I can say you're protecting your peace and you're focused on everything else around you. You don't want that burden to be stuck or the grasp a hold of you again, making you be tunnel vision and missing out on what's around you and what's needed from you.
Right, right. Or even other relationships that I could potentially grow and pour into that could benefit me and vice versa. That can block that if I keep holding on to that dead weight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just like I just view it as making room for more, for more of what I need and the type of people that I want to be surrounded by. I don't want to, because it's selfish behavior. I don't want to deal with nobody that's selfish. I just don't. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Which is understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a story you wanted to share about your life experience dealing with someone that is selfish or selfless?
Ooh, I try not to bash people on a situation, but I did have one individual that I was cool with for years and stuff from
Mhm.
teenage years until adult years. And, every time I always looked out for them no matter what it was. They
Mhm.
we end up working at the same place. They ride with me back and forth to work. I didn't charge them gas money because I knew they need to get back up. They didn't have a car. All
Mhm.
kinds of
Mhm.
stuff. You need cigarettes. You need this. You need helping them out.
Right.
So I didn't help this person end up getting into a situation to where they had living handsome. So when they got the living handsome, they started acting brand new stuff they never done before they started doing. You know, if I
No.
when I was younger, I did it, and you bashed me about it. As you got older, you started doing it, and I'm just looking at you. I never bashed you about it, and they start acting their own ways. When they
Mhm.
start living handsomely, they never once thought to repay me back for anything that I ever done for them.
Mm.
No
Mhm.
matter what situation it was, the knowledge, the money, the time,
Mhm.
none of that.
Mhm.
And once they got to that situation, tried to hang out with them once or twice, and the situation just kind of went left with me. So me having a conversation with them, I'm like, okay, they acting new. You know,
Mhm.
y- you act like I done something to you. It's like they start. I'm like, I don't act like I'm better than you
Right.
because I
Right.
helped you. Especially when they got it. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm trying to give you advice. Hey, you might want to put some up for a rainy day. Put some in this type of, where you can control it. It can gain interest, this and that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like, oh, you think you better than me, this and that, and like, how I think I'm better than you. I'm trying to help you better your life later on down the road.
Right.
You start
Right.
having kids and stuff. You gotta, manage the time.
Right.
You want a house, buy a house, pay it off. If you don't want to buy a house, put money up to where you can pay your rent 6 months at a time, and you
Mhm.
collectively stuff the rest of it in your pocket.
Right.
Little ways to save money and stuff like that, because I understand a lot of people don't want houses. Why?
Yeah.
Because the maintenance.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So I understand that. So if you got an apartment and stuff like that, pay it up 6 months at a time. You killing a lot of what they want to throw in on the back end because you already paid up. So now you protecting yourself for at least 6 months. When that 6 month come up, boom, you done save money, throw it down again. Because you take
Yeah.
the rest of what you make, what you would have been paying, just put it up. You got the money now and you working. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. But they kept treating me like I was the bad guy to the point to where I just had to cut them off. Only communication I have with them if I see them in public. I'm like, you still got your transportation to get back and forth to work, so that's good. Well,
Right. Right.
I can't hold no conversation with you.
Do you cuz I feel like this is your second time bringing up like when you do for people and they don't reciprocate um or whatever, do you do things with the intention of with the intention of expectation for somebody to, once they get on their feet or once they are able to be in a position to help you essentially, or just, not even if you need the help, but just if you needed it and they didn't do it, do you have an expectation that people should, because
Not
you
all the
have?
time. Not
Okay.
all. It's certain individuals, certain time frames and stuff like that. Most of the time, when I'm doing something, what I'm getting out of it is knowledge. I'm learning. So
Mm,
I'm a hands-on type person. So if I'm right there with you day to day, information for information, I'm learning from it.
wow.
While I'm physically helping you, I'm
Mhm.
learning from what you're doing and stuff like that, and you're
Mhm.
paving the road for me mentally. So even if I don't put it in effect, I can pass it on to somebody else that get in there, and they can take it on their own way. I can share my idea with you. Both of us can
Mhm.
do the same exact thing,
Mhm.
but it never will turn out the same. The way I'm gonna go about it and the way you're gonna go about it is two different
Two
visions.
totally different things, okay?
And that's why I say a lot of people can't steal my idea or my mind frame and stuff like that. You can only get a glimpse of it because the way I put it to action is gonna be totally different than how you put it to action. It can be the same event, but all our action gonna be totally different.
Yeah, because the vision that God gave me is totally different than what you may have envisioned from
Yeah,
my vision He gave me. Okay,
yeah.
so it is what it is. That is so true. Yeah. I also I feel like a lot in my past that I was used a lot for whatever. And that's why I'm so much more purposeful about it these days, about being intentional about who I'm in relationship with. And it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is. It's just like, if you're not going to be willing to reciprocate the love that I'm giving you, then I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I know that that's a strong boundary for me now because I'm so used to being in situations with, and I have an expectation of, if I do this for you, or because I'm showing you this type of love and respect and blah, 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 I'm expecting the same in return. And when people don't do it, I'm get let down. Then I be internalizing and be like, oh, it's something wrong with me because they're doing me this way. But it's not nothing wrong with me. It's a them problem. It's not a you problem. I
And
just have to know who to surround myself with and who to allow in my space. And now I know, you ain't gonna do this, then I can't do it. Cause so then I won't get let down. I won't have that expectation because I'm not even allowing you space to get me wrapped up into that point, you know?
see, I'm the type of person. You'd think I put myself in a situation where I'm gonna be let down, but I'm like I'm thriving off of most time. As long as I learn something out of it, like I tell people at work all the time to do commas and some of. As long as I learn one thing today, I'm happy. So,
Mm,
being let down, okay, now you pushing me to be stronger. Now I'm not finna let this beat me. I'm finna put in more work. I'm finna sit here and I'm gonna think. And I become a thinker. I may sit there for a minute, you'll think something wrong with me. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna defeat what just defeated me. But I didn't quit. I'm finna go back and I'm finna make sure I win this situation. You're not finna bring me down. You're not I'm gonna learn what I need to learn. Either you teach me or you don't teach me. Social media will teach me. You're not gonna let me down. Uh, you could be selfish about it and don't want to help me, or
right.
you could think you use me. Most of the time, some people thought they used me. It's like I really wanted to learn how to do this. So with me coming along to do this with you, I'm actually
Mhm,
learning. And you think you got over on me? No, I took the knowledge that you thought that you gave me knowledge, and I gave you
right.
physical appearance and help.
That is a perspective. That's a mindset perspective. And I applaud you for having a child because it's taken me a long time to get to this point. But that's for real because even like it's so funny because my therapist recently said that to me. And I was talking about like this whole dating experience or whatever. And I was just like, it's no viable candidates, you know what I'm saying, that I have come across thus far. And she was like, it's not meant. God got you in a season right now. You're not meant to come across viable candidates. You're meant to come across teachers, people that are going to teach you something about what you may not like, what you're not going to tolerate, what you don't want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And vice
Right.
versa. You are meant to teach them something at this point in time. That's why that connection was made. And that's what it is. And I'm like, ah, okay. Like, so now I changed my mindset on it instead of looking at it like I'm looking for my one, my person, whatever. I'm now welcoming all connections and looking at what I need to learn from this situation because clearly it's something God is trying to give me the answer to in order for me to heal or to view differently or create a boundary for myself, whatever it may be. I'm supposed to learn from this. And like you said, if we take that approach with everything, you would never
Yeah.
feel like you're being used. You would never feel like somebody is abusing you or you internalize and like, oh, you let me down. That is so, man, that's a way to live. I'm sure you feel very light and free most times because I'll be over
Yeah.
here down in the hole, baby. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe
And that goes back to what I was saying about people that think they have control over the situation. Like you really have no
yeah.
control.
No,
Is
you're not.
is me
No,
allowing myself to learn this, and you thinking you getting over on me, and you're not. Both
you're
of us
not.
is at a stalemate because I'm learning from it, and you getting my physical ability to help you
Yes,
complete your task.
yes, yes,
So
yes. It's
and
all
and
about perspective. Wow,
and
that's
what's crazy about it? Hearing some of them talk about, "Oh yeah, I got over on him. I did this, and I got him to do this." It's like you didn't get me to do it. I was willing to do it
a
because I
willing
wanted to
participant.
learn.
Yeah, because you wanted to learn. Exactly, exactly. And I don't be wanting to learn all these lessons. I ain't gonna hold you. But look, I talk to God about that all the time. Like, enough. I'm tired of learning. I just want to get to the point. But I understand it's a necessary step to get to the next level. And it's only going, the more you know, knowledge is power, man. Like the more you know, the stronger you will be mentally, emotionally, physically, all of that. Like, but if you don't take out the time to learn something from situations and stop woeing me and all this type of like, just stop, take a breath, and look
Yeah,
at it for what you're supposed to gain from it. You
yeah.
will be in a much better space, much better space. So that's amazing. You've had this mindset all your life? Or did you come to a point that you just kind of like, you know
I
what? I'm
want
gonna
I
let
want
this.
I want to say when I turned 21, I want to say that's when this mindset came because I grew up with the mindset I'm gonna be selfish. I'm gonna live for me and this and that. That used to be my
Wow.
mindset because of the situation that I grew up in. So, but as I got older, I'm looking back. I got siblings and I got all this situation going
Mhm,
on, and people reaching out to me. No, I say 20, 20. It had to be 20 because I met a man, didn't know his name, never met him before, and he gave me a book, and he told me to read this book. And he said, when
mhm.
you're done reading this book and you feel like you can memorize everything in this book, read it again and read it again and read it again. He said, you will figure out something different in this book every time you read it.
Every single time.
And I'm like,
Wow.
it was like The Way of the World. That was like the name of the book, of The Way of the World. It's a Buddhist book.
Mm,
So it's a Buddhist book talking about the way of the world with the different type of religion and what religions practice what and stuff like that. And how collectively they come up under Buddhism
mhm,
and things like that. So it was looking at it, reading that and you know, just putting it all together, I'm like, okay, I thought I know this, and I go read it. Now I'm looking into this one. Now I'm stopping on this page and I'm researching about this religion, and I'm
mhm.
researching about that religion, and I kept the book and I kept going on. And he also told me when he said one day you're gonna run across somebody just as yourself, and you're gonna pass that book on to them. And just so happened I passed
Wow.
that book on to somebody else. Didn't know the kid name or nothing. I was living in Florida at the time. So
Wow.
I passed it on to the kid one day. I was at the matter of fact, I was heading into the VA and I had that book with me and I passed it on to a kid.
And have you passed it on since then or no? I mean, like, have you had it that you just gave him a copy of what you had?
Yeah, I gave him that copy that I had
Oh, okay,
because
okay, okay.
I had ran across the kid once or twice, and I
Mm,
used to go over in Florida. The VA had a basketball court, a basketball
mhm,
gym, where the rehab and physical therapy area was, and I was allowed to go into it. So I ran across the kid there, and he seemed like he was having a bad day. Every time I seen him, he wasn't talkative, but he can play sports. And
mhm.
that was, and one day he didn't get picked up or whatnot. Like the book was in my book bag. For some reason that day, I don't know why I had it, but
It
it,
was
it was
heavy
like
on your heart.
it felt like it was just that day to pass it on, and,
Mm,
and I passed it on to him.
wow. I recently came across this book because a friend of mine that I met off of TikTok passed this book along and was like, "You need to read this book." Now, listen, I don't read books because a girl be busy. I ain't got time to sit down and physically read a book. I don't. I don't have that type of time. My kids won't let me be great, okay? But I do have Audible and I listen to Audible all the time. I listen to my books, okay? So, anyways, he told me to get the book. I downloaded it on Audible. And when I tell you, I think the listen was like, I think it was like less than 5 hours, maybe less than six, something like that. When I tell you I listened to that whole book in like one day, because I be in my car a lot, especially when the kids in school, I listen to my books, whatever, whatever. So I'm listening and I finished that whole book. I felt like my brain was just like, whoa, like it's called the Four Agreements. And one of the agreements is to not, it's basically making new agreements, shifting your mindset, changing your perspective pretty much, making a new agreement with yourself. Um, and one of the agreements was not to take things personally. And that stuck so hard to me because again, I take things so personally. I self internalize everything. And if something happened, I'm like, oh, it must be me, me, me. And it has nothing to do with me because somebody did you this way, because somebody may have been selfish, because they were trying to control the situation. It has nothing to do with you. That's a them problem. Don't take things personally. So I've been really trying to like hone in on that agreement, making that agreement with myself to not take things personally. But if that person wouldn't have shared that knowledge, shared that book with me, I would have never known. I mean, I could tell myself all day, like, don't take it personal, Portia. They didn't mean that. But I'm not really like focusing in on the mindset shift that I need to make. But when I heard that book, it just kind of broke it down really well. And I was like, okay, Portia, we're not going to take this personally. And even with me, when I get like, you know, my attitude or whatever, I'll be having to like remind myself, like, don't you can't you took that out on them. They gonna think that was something to do with them and that ain't them. That's a you thing you got going on today because you not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just kind of like shifts your mindset altogether. But man, sharing the knowledge. That's what
Yeah.
things like that do. Like, and that's what we should do. So that's dope. That's dope. I'm glad you were able to do that for that young man. And I'm glad that whoever gave you that book was able to do that for you. Cause look at you now.
Like I said, the mindset, and like you said, it said don't take things personal. I really don't take a lot of stuff personal. Sometimes I just take the weight off people, even if I'm not at wrong for it. I just you put the of the world on my shoulder, and
Mm.
I'll try and do what I can do with it.
You'll
But
carry
it
it.
it's certain times, it's certain things that you can do to me the way I'm going to take it personal, and I get very revengeful.
Mm.
And it's like my revengeful is totally different than everybody else. I don't physically do anything. I mentally get in your head, and to the point where when you do realize I was in your head and I done this, you don't even remember why I done it. It's like I slowly inject myself into your brain.
Oh, not you being like a little virus or something. Wait, what is happening?
I'm just like, because you know how you can warn people and warn them, and they
Yeah,
don't heed your warning
they
until you
don't need
show
it.
action.
Yep.
So it's it takes a lot. But once you push me over that edge, and
Mm-hmm.
I hit the bottom of that of that hill,
Yeah.
that's when I start re-rising myself into a
Yeah.
way to where I'm mentally in your head. Like everything you do, you gonna think, oh, I wonder how he feel about it. I wonder what he's thinking about if I do this. Should I do
Wow.
this around him? Should I do
Wow.
this all together? Like you could be sitting at home, you doing something, and it gonna cross your mind. Like I wonder, do he know what I'm about to do? So
Ooh.
it's
Let
like
me find out. You out here getting the folks all messed up in the brain.
like I said, when you push me to that point, it's like my focus on revenge is totally back towards you because I would never neglect it. I would always be involved in the same stuff that I'm doing. And as
Mhm.
you paying attention to me, don't even realize I'm affecting you because you're looking at me and I'm living rent free in your head and you trying to figure out why.
Remember, I would never cross you. You are my friend till the end.
But it's just the way I go about it though.
Yeah.
It takes extremely a lot to get me to that point.
Mm. Mhm.
And most folks don't even know the key way to ever get me from that situation
Yeah.
because they're too eager to figure me out when the key word has always been something that you was taught as a toddler.
And what's that?
Apology.
Wow. Something
The
so
most
simple, right?
yes. And they forget the morals where they came from. Day one.
Mhm.
Apologize.
Just apologize.
Sometimes it may be, it depends on how recent it is. It may be some spacing in between it, but an
Mhm.
apology would fix it. It would slowly fix it to the point to where it used to be or close to it. It would get at least 75% at the minimum of being
Yeah.
fixed. And
Yeah.
they don't it's like you have learned this as a kid to apologize for your wrong being.
Yep.
If you have done something wrong, apologize. Ownership, own up to what you done.
Own up to it. Take accountability.
I would never pull you in front of a crowd and call you out on something that you done to me. I will pull you off to the side and we will have that conversation because I don't want to embarrass you. That's me being selflessness. I will pull
Yes.
you into a corner and talk to you and explain to you what you done, why I
Mm-hmm.
feel this way, give you the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity to talk. But some
Mm-hmm.
people do not have the respect enough to bring it back to you. They're so selfish to where they want to put on a scene in a
Yeah.
dramatic form for
Yeah.
everybody to see it.
To try to embarrass you,
Yeah.
to make
Are you,
themselves look better or
yeah.
look good for a moment. But
And
in
that's why I say
actuality, you look like a jackass. So there's
it,
that.
I'm like, you making yourself, some people see through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you putting this wool on, and this wool, the wind get to blowing the right way, they gonna see what's up under that wool, what that you got on. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, it would be a apology and change behavior, not to go back
Mm,
down that route.
yes.
But some
Yes.
people are stigmatized in their mind to where they make a mistake and don't realize that they're making a mistake. Even if you
Right.
let them know, they have to, physically see it, mentally feel it,
Yep.
that they have caused that mistake.
Yep.
And they have to do it to more than one person. As long as they're focused and it's happening to you, they don't realize that they happen to you because nobody else. And some people enjoy it, man, it's just the way they is. If you let them know, they can change their ways. Some people
That
don't
part.
know it unless you tell them.
Exactly. And ain't nobody ever thought to even tell them, even if they have thought it, nobody ever mustered up the strength enough to confront them. But I don't like that statement like this. That's just the way they are. This is how I am, and you're gonna have to accept. No, I don't have to accept your foolishness. If you are not right, if you're not a good person and what you did, or if that scenario wasn't good or whatever, then no, I should be able to call you out on your stuff and hold you accountable and let you know that. And if I can't do that, then we don't need to be in a relationship. And it's just that simple.
It's simple as that. But like I say, you trying to you give them a weakness point to where they can hang on to, they can clinch on to by saying that just that way. They just if we
Yep.
collectively tell this person,
Yep.
maybe they can fix it for the betterment of everybody because you
Yep.
start losing people once you be like that. It plays out after so long,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Or people tolerate you and talk crap about you behind your back the whole time. It's like, oh, I hate when they come, but they be like, oh, hey, you're
Yeah.
here.
Yes. A lot of that goes on in my life.
A
A lot
lot.
of
A lot. It's like, no, you're a trash human being and you need to do better.
yeah.
Sorry.
And they were like,
Sorry, not sorry.
what I'm supposed to do? Why what am I
We
supposed to
can figure
do?
that out. As long as you're
Like,
willing and able, we can figure it out. Okay.
stand up. Y- You got to stand for something. It
Stand for
ain't that ain't
something.
really being selfish. Is you looking out for the rolling effect on someone else
Yes.
because they
Yes.
feel like they can do it to you. They may feel like they can do it to the next person or somebody that's
Yes.
in your inner circle that doesn't really affiliate with them.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes. Let's go to our next segment, which is how does life be lifing for you? This is where I've asked my listeners on social media to send me in questions or comments, and I basically randomly select them so we can answer today. Okay. So I don't know if
okay.
you saw, I made a TikTok the other day asking people about this topic, selfishness or selflessness. It's a tongue twister, child. Anywho, one of our viewers on TikTok, Tony Montana, shout out to Tony Montana. Most people are selfish because being selfless for the wrong circumstances and wrong relationships left them jaded. What do you think? What do you think, Shane?
They didn't know how to react to it or whatnot. So they went to what they basically know, and that's shelter and move forward. You know,
Right. That is so true, though. But this kind of speaks to what you said earlier about being selfish. Now, because you dealt with that circumstance, now you're being selfish towards this particular person because of what they've inflicted on you, right?
mm,
Um, but yeah, it can leave you jaded, and you'll be like, "F everybody, I'm just gonna look out for me now," because when I did try to look out for people, people misused me and abused me, and I'm not doing that no more. So I totally agree, and I don't want no parts.
and
I just try to do my best to not live in a negative space,
yeah,
because I did it for so long, um, and I just again trying to learn lessons from things and look at even in the baddest of situations, what was I meant to learn from here, and try not to allow that to turn my heart black. So yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for that comment, Tony Montana. Appreciate you for
thank you, Tony.
reaching out. Okay, I got one more comment from Kanisha Yates. I think sometimes selfless people need to be more selfish as it relates to self care and self love, and I couldn't agree more. What do you think?
I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to when people say something about self love, though, they the way they go about it, self love, you need numbers. It basically you need numbers and whatnot. But I agree and disagree at the same time because
Mm-hmm.
you know you can't let one event with an individual change your focus. What was your goal before that person entered and during that time period of that person entering in your life?
Mm-hmm.
You had
Mm-hmm.
the same goal. You learn from it, but you teach the next person before they even go down that route too. So you can keep a learning curve open for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes one person to go through it in order to teach another next person, and then
Yeah.
that person will move farther on in it, and then come to a roadblock, and now they're teaching another person. So it becomes a chain reaction. So I
Yeah.
agree and disagree at the same time. I understand self love. You got to put yourself first and stuff like that. But at the same time, you can't you can't black out everything around you because you may be missing out on a blessing. You may be missing out on knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
information. You may be missing out on that question that you've been asking. You ask God for this
Mm-hmm.
right here, and He
Mm-hmm.
keep putting it in front of you, but you're so focused on self love to where you're pushing it out the way. So now when you get down the road, you haven't gotten it yet, but you have gotten it multiple times, but you didn't accept it when you received it.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
you could have self love, but also have an open mind with
Right. Right. I agree with her because I feel like she's talking about me. Um
it.
Again, my selflessness sometimes could be to my own detriment. Um which is why I've started this whole life be life and thing, and I'm so heavy on the self-love campaign, self-care campaign, because I'm still learning how to give myself the love that I expect others to give me. Um and care for myself the way that I should, right? And I already told you about me feeling guilty about it and all that type of stuff, but no, that selfishness doesn't necessarily have to be meant in a negative way. And me taking care of myself, I have to be selfish at times. And I go back to the whole thing of balance, right? It's nothing too much of anything can be bad for you, right? So, like you said, if you cut out everything else and you block out everything else and you just thinking it's about me, I'm doing my self care, I'm taking care of me, well, that becomes selfishness in a negative tone. But if I'm now choosing, hey, at 8 o'clock every day, I'm going to take an hour to myself to take me a bath, to release myself. I don't want to be interrupted by no kids. I don't want nobody calling me. I don't want none of those things. That's for the betterment of me. It's not, and I deserve and I have the right to be selfish in that moment, because if I don't take care of me, then I'm not going to be no good to nobody else. And
That's
eventually my
understandable.
my body gonna get worn down, my mental, my emotional, I'm gonna be unstable. It's gonna be a lot of chain reactions to that. So sometimes you have to be selfish with, if you are a selfless person that's continuously giving, 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 and you never refueling yourself, never giving yourself back the energy that you're giving out, you're gonna run out. And it's best that you find that balance, whatever it is, to help you be able to keep moving forward, you know? Um,
And
so
what you just stated about, taking time for self to, rejuvenate yourself to keep yourself healthy
yeah,
is a point to where some people should understand because you had to take that selfish route
yeah,
to be there for the next person. You don't want to
yes,
overdrain yourself and
yes.
you can come back at a later time. So that's understandable. Some people they self-care, self-love is bump all that bump. I'm finna
Yeah,
go do this. I'm finna go
yeah,
do that.
yeah.
You got some people that take self-love into a whole nother
A
atmosphere.
whole nother thing.
And
I definitely agree.
someone go above and beyond with it to the point of where they need somebody that's selflessness to come in. That's selfless. I and now that selfless person is wondering how did you become so selfless to becoming selfish, and now you becoming needy.
Woo,
you know,
not
it
really.
become that chain reaction.
Yeah,
And I'm staying for some people
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah. That's
overdo it.
real though. That's
Yeah,
real. That's real. And I think it goes back. I know I keep saying boundaries, but it goes back to you setting those new boundaries, because if you being selfless for so long and people are used to you being that person, and now you're taking a selfish approach to taking care of yourself for a period of time, and somebody have an issue with that, like you said, you understand it, but somebody else may not understand it that's in that person's life, and they be like, well, I don't understand why you doing this all of a sudden. Why you doing this now? What is this gonna do? What is, being negative about you being selfish with your care of oneself?
yeah,
Then you need to kind of like, I feel like I've been approached with that a few times, and I'm like, what you don't understand about me trying to take care of me? Like, why is that a problem for you? But that just again speaks towards that person, and again, them trying to be controlling, because ultimately they're selfish and they want to use you to get what they want to get done, no matter what your goals or what it is, even if it is draining you. They don't care because
yeah,
they want what they want in that moment. So they're gonna be negative about you taking care of yourself. But that's why you got to set that hard, fast boundary. Like, hey, this is my time. This is what I'm doing. If you can like it or not, and keep it pushing. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
yeah.
But you know, it's
You know,
a trial and
and
error, I feel.
yeah, that's one of those things. You gotta be open minded no matter what. If you selfless or selfish, always have an open mind because you can either you can affect somebody whether it's in a good way or a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that mind open and be willing to be in a way to where you can understand it. If you don't understand, admit that you don't understand because somebody's out there gonna be willing to help you understand.
Mm-hmm.
The person that you're talking to at the moment may not be able to help you understand because their way of teaching and learning is totally different than yours. But
Yeah. Yeah.
if you ask questions, you can get to that point to where okay, now I understand it, and
Right.
you can compare notes. But a lot of people, that's one thing. A lot of people, when they don't understand stuff, they still don't want to understand. It's like, you know what, but I'm going to go another route. No, try to
Yep.
understand the situation, understand what happened,
Trying to
why. You
understand.
know, sometimes you got to sit back and talk to yourself.
Woo.
That inner
That
person,
part.
that inner person in you will open up a part of your brain that you forgot, and you can understand why did you become this person? Why did you,
Yes.
you know, what the road to why you became this individual, whether it's a nice person or a bad person.
Yep.
Now you can jot that down. You can write goals. I'm gonna change myself in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. This is where I want to
Mm-hmm.
be. This is where I want my mindset. This is where I physically want to be. This is where I financially want to be. You may
Yes.
not, some of the steps you may not get to, but you always know that you wrote them down. And you
Yep.
come back and look at them in time to time. Put them in your phone, like smartphone. You put them in your phone now. Put it for a year. You write down this, put it for a year
Yep.
to remind you. 3 years to remind you, 5
Yes.
years. It you gonna change phone, but you ain't gonna change email. Your email will
Right,
always
right, right.
it's a reminder in that
It's gonna
email
come
to
up.
go.
Right, right.
So
That's a dope idea. I think I'm gonna you're dropping gems on this episode tonight. I'm gonna have to take a lot of these little approaches because that's a good idea. I like that because I have things in my calendar that are annually, some things that are no longer in existence, and they came up, and I was like, oh, I gotta take this off my calendar. But that is a good idea for my dreams, my goals, my aspirations. Put it in there and remind myself, did you do it yet, girl? What's going on? What's happening?
I'm coming up on. I have one I written almost 5 years ago, and I'm coming up on it on March of next year. And I goes back to remind myself all the time on what I want to do. And I'm steady learning it, and I done wrote
Mhm.
the business plan for it. Now I'm looking into the financial ways and actually looking into the location of putting it. I know the other aspects of it, what I want to do with it, but finding the home front for it, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Everybody was like, "Oh, you can just do it online, this and that." I don't want to just do it online because I want to have a front for it, and
yeah.
people can come and visit and stuff like that. And once I do it, I
Hmm.
already know the attention really gonna brings out a lot of people because don't nobody really see this type of stuff being brung around us.
And speaking of all the wonderful things that Shane got going on over there, we're going to go to this segment, shining some light on life. Okay. This is the segment where I shine some light on something that I have enjoyed or supported. And this time is something that Shane is doing. Shane is an Army veteran, he also is a volunteer firefighter. He is out here being selfless every day, all day. Okay. And he also has another organization that he currently works with the youth. Okay, the children are our future. Can you give us a little more information about it, Shane? We can shine some light on it.
Okay, so one of the organizations that I'm involved in is One Heart organization, and it used to be for heart disease and everything, and lately
Mm-hmm.
we have changed the aspect of it. It's for a lot of medical diseases and things like that. So getting treatments and knowledge, giving people the knowledge of the disease and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time that we do our fundraiser, we do it through modeling events. So we'll have guest speakers in,
Mm-hmm.
doctors or whatnot. They will speak upon the situation, and in between we had the modeling events, and we come through, and the designers they bring out the clothes, and us models will come down, and we interact with everybody. The donation goes to treatments for the guest of the night, so we end up usually having two guests, and whatever we gain goes directly to their treatment. No matter how many treatment that they
Nice.
have, they get the amount of treatment that they can,
Mm-hmm.
the medicine that they need. We
Mm-hmm.
pick up on the back end. So that's one thing we do with that organization and everything. And lately we have brought kids with us and everything, and they have been modeling with us, and they have been enjoying themselves and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that door opened up to where you have some kids that get to actually see and have fun. Because someone may
Yes.
not even they don't really understand the concept of it, but they're being involved in it,
Yes.
and it getting their face out there. And for this small area that I'm in and everything, it's kind of bringing attention to us because we have people all up. We had some people come in from New York, Texas, Memphis, Chicago, and these are all designers and everything. So these
Yeah.
designers come in and they got footage of us in the event. They got footage of the guest speakers and the recipients and everything, and they take it back home and they're showing it to this person, or they're posting on their social media, and it bringing attention and awareness to a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I'm liking the direction that I'm really loving the direction because at first it
Mhm.
started off like I say, heart disease. Heart
Yeah.
disease it fits in the family,
Yeah.
so it's on both sides of my family with the heart disease. And
Mm-hmm.
then we brought the heart disease, and we came in with chemo and cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and like cancer really touched me too because I lost one of my loved one that raised me to
Mm-hmm.
cancer, so
Mm-hmm.
that kind of fit. Then we went to Women of Refined Gold, which is um domestic violence.
Mm.
So I have witnessed domestic violence, never been involved in it, but I have witnessed it, and I
Mhm.
didn't understand it until they got to speaking on it. So
Mm.
I'm like, I remember certain situations like this happened before.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
person that was involved in it, I sat them down and I talked to them, and they were like, "Well, yes, that's what happened." And I'm like, I was young then. I didn't understand what was going on. I saw
Yeah.
it, but
Mhm.
I didn't understand it, and now I understand. And it kind of different routes to prevent from having that going on. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's another one that I enjoy and everything. And like I say, we touch on a lot of them. We were
Mhm.
working on by us revamping the whole organization. We're looking at different ways to incorporate a lot more and trying to expand everything. It's a nonprofit organization, so we basically look out for a lot of it and everything. And
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself, and I
Mhm.
I love to see the new faces, the people come in
Mhm.
from here and there and everything. So
Mhm.
they're coming in, they're interacting, and meeting new people and people with different situations, and finding a newfound respect for them, because a lot of people
Yes.
aren't willing to tell you that they're having this illness and this
Mhm.
issue and that issue, but when they show up to it and they understand, just because the people that's close to you may not, show their love for you. If you let them know that something going on, maybe they'll get a better understanding for you. And
Yes.
people that's around you on a day-to-day basis, you know, if something was to happen to you today,
Mhm.
some people you wouldn't know. I can't give you your roses. If I want
Yeah.
to give you your roses before you pass. I don't want to be the one that put the rose on your casket and
That
not give you the rose beforehand. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, reach, don't be scared to let anybody know. Some people, just because this person may not care about it, someone out there cares.
Somebody
And
cares. And it will touch somebody's heart.
oh yes,
Yeah.
we have touched plenty of them, and they reach
Mhm.
out on a regular basis. Some of them I really didn't even know was an issue with them. I just seen them on a regular basis, and they show up at the event, and I'm looking like, okay,
Wow.
I didn't know. I
You
thought you
had
work.
something going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you work. You are the strongest person I know, and you actually got this illness
Yeah.
behind you, and you act like it doesn't even affect you. I need some of your willpower, and somebody needs some of your willpower to. They understand what's going on, but they don't let it hold them down. They don't
Yeah.
use it as a crutch, and
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. That's so dope. That is so dope and so selfless of you to
Oh
give
yeah,
your time, your talents, and lend your ear and being willing to even learn of other people that circumstances are completely different from yours. And like you said, it has touched your family or you in different areas of your life. And even if it hasn't, you still have a compassionate enough heart to be willing to be a part of something that could, help other people, and that's what
yeah.
it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I
And that's how.
commend, go
And
on.
that's really how I got involved. I was being selfless. I would
Hmm.
ask they were like, "Hey, we need a couple of males to come hit the runway and everything." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Do I really want to do this?" And I went anyway because I respect the person that
Yeah,
involved me in it, which is my aunt.
yeah, yeah.
My aunt has the mind frame that I'm trying to learn from. So with her
Mm,
inviting me to it, I met so many wonderful people,
yeah.
and I'm actually learning about it. I fumbled the ball a couple of times at the beginning, saying, "Oh, I'm just
Hmm.
modeling and this and that." It's more than just modeling.
It's more
Modeling
than
is
that.
involved in it. The
Yeah,
knowledge of the illness is there. It's
yeah.
just a way to make it stick in your mind without just overloading you with it. Some
Right.
people you see the models come around, then you get the next section, then we model, then another section. You get your
Mm,
recipient. And like I was being selfless, I'm like, okay, they need models. Let me go up here. Well, they
hmm.
need another body. Let me go up here.
Right,
I ain't got nothing going on. And I get involved in it, and I started enjoying it, and enjoying it even more. And I'm like, this what year two, year three, going on year three for me, and being involved in it, and the multi ways that we go and get involved. And I'm like, it's beautiful. It
yeah.
way totally different than what I expected it to be.
That's
And
what's
like
up.
I said, by it being a nonprofit, you can ask somebody, "Hey, you want to be involved in it? How much they paying?" Like, it's not pay. It don't pay. It's non-profit,
It's
man.
a selfless act.
You get paid
Volunteer
in
your
blessing.
time. Exactly. You give your time, you get paid in blessings, you get paid in knowledge, you get paid in compassion and wisdom and love. Okay. So that's much more. That currency is far greater and more valuable than the money. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's dope. Shout out to this organization. So glad that you're a part of it and you can
Oh, yeah.
shine some light on it. And you that organization is Alabama based,
Yes.
but
Based
y'all
out of
are
Alabama.
reaching out. Y'all reaching out. It's gonna be worldwide in 1 minute.
We're we're starting to go world. We're starting to go southwide right now. Our
Okay,
next
okay.
event is in Tallahassee, Florida.
Nice.
So we will be traveling in a couple of months to Tallahassee, and we're going down there, and it's gonna be one heart and women of refined gold working
Mm-hmm.
together,
Mm-hmm.
and we talking about the different diseases, and we also bringing light to domestic violence. And the thing
That's
about
what's up.
the domestic violence situation, I like that we kind of expressed on the last one was men get abused too. So we brought that, a lot of people didn't understand. Men don't get like men get abused
Yes, they
kind of a
do.
little bit more than women
Yes.
do, but men are afraid to conversate about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're afraid to seem like we're weak.
It happens. It happens. Abuse is abuse is abuse. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't have a gender specific. Everybody can get abused, and it does happen.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's that. Oh my gosh, we have finally come to the end of the episode, Shane. Oh my gosh, it's been great. So much great conversation. A lot of gems were dropped, as I said. I told y'all he was wise beyond his years, child. He got things to say, okay? And I love it. It's amazing. So thank you again, Shane. If you wanted to leave your socials, you can now. If you want people to find you.
Oh, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. One legendary crazy, crazy spelled with a K and two Z's. And
Yes.
so,
It's on the screen. Y'all go find Shane, follow him, click all his buttons, do all the things because he out here doing making moves in these streets, okay? And in a
oh
good,
yeah,
selfless way. All right.
oh yeah. If
All
I can
right.
help you by giving you some knowledge or whatnot, I will help you with getting you some knowledge.
All
So
right. Because what you say earlier, you're going to help me to help you,
yeah, I'm gonna help you, help me, help you, and we both rise.
period.
Hey,
This is the last segment of the podcast. Y'all know how I end it every time. It's with Speak Life. This segment is where I leave you with a call to action for yourself, but not just for you, but for me as well. Okay. So I'll leave you with these words to hold on to until next time. Today's Speak Life affirmation is there is a time to push myself and a time to rest, and that's not selfish. Again, today's Speak Life affirmation is there is a time to push myself and a time to rest, and that's not selfish. You heard it, you say it, you write it down, and remind yourself to speak that thing and make it happen because life be life in us all. You have a wonderful night. Thank you so much again, Shane. I have appreciated your time and
you're
all
welcome.
that is you. Thank you so much for coming to my platform. I really, really am grateful. Thank you.
We're gonna have to do this again.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Yes, we gotta talk about it. Talk. We got lots to talk about. So yes,
Oh, yeah.
definitely we'll be coming back. I appreciate you. And thank you all for tuning in tonight. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please come check us out for our following episode and all the other episodes. Please go stream all of season 1. This is season 2. And I am grateful to be here to continue to share the love, the wisdom, the knowledge, and hopefully help to heal some broken things in us all. Y'all have a wonderful night. See y'all.
Good night, y'all.